Greetings and grand rising. So I was gonna start that fast yesterday, but it didn't work out. Somebody ended up buying me some food, and I ended up eating. And I was thinking to myself, after I did that, you know, trying to discern, was it the ego or was it a manifestation? But it's like a thin line between the two. Uh, it wasn't the ego because it wasn't me saying, I'm hungry, I need to eat, and then the food came. It was just naturally that, around that time, probably, I would eat, but I didn't go and purchase anything to eat. So it was bought for me, it was manifested to me, to happen that way. But I didn't get on here to talk about that. I came on here to talk about protecting yourself. We got to protect ourselves because, people come around us and we don't know who they are. And we change, by the seconds, by the minutes. We're a different being, every second because we taking in different thoughts, or we having different thoughts and taking in different information. So we different. We ain't the same beings as we was just seconds ago. So you gotta watch who you gotta have around you or got around you, because you don't know what's going on with them. So you don't really want beings around you that have mercury in their mouth. Mercury is dangerous. That's one of the ways that we was attacked, by putting mercury in the mouth, and then they in the household with their siblings. Now everybody contaminated. Now their minds aren't working right. Whatever mercury does to the being. Also, you got beings that what they would call in the Bible abomination. Abomination. And if you don't know this, well, abominations sometimes could be seen, as far as, sight. Some of them you can't see. Some beings might have organs removed, and things like that, things that you can't see. So, that's an abomination. You missing parts, and that's going to cause you to be ill. You know what I mean? And once you become ill, and I'm seeing you be ill, but I don't know why you ill, because I don't know that you're missing body parts. Also with the mercury, if I don't know that you got mercury in your mouth, and then you around me, now you contaminated me, you making me ill. I don't know what's going on. Now my mind contaminated, and everything else that, mercury does to the brain or to the mind or to the body, for real. So when you royalty, when you're God, when you have a high rank, you have to protect yourself. You have to watch everything around you, because the attack is real. The attack is real. I don't want to say they, but let's go with the ego. The ego was seeing these beings at you to break you down, to put you back, like I said, into that fear. So you operate in the fear, survival mode. So you have to pay attention to that. That's why the kings, back in the day, or in the Bible or in the books, used to examine everyone that approached the throne. They didn't even examine the beings. They would have their guards or their security examine the beings. But you have to examine these beings that approach you. Sometimes you can see them coming a mile away, for real. You can see that the way they think, the way they moving, their attitude. You can see if they finna be on some negative shit or on some positive shit. But yeah, you gotta protect yourself. You have to be aware and conscious at all times, and that way you ain't manifesting these type beings in your life. Like I was talking about yesterday, I'm trying to get up on a certain frequency where I'm surrounded by beings like-minded. You know what I mean? So I have to go hard on my shit and raise the vibration in order to see that. So it also lets you know where you at when these type of beings show up. But at the same time, it could just be random. These beings could just show up random, but you can see them coming a mile away. But when they do approach, you have to examine them. First thing you're gonna see, like I said, you're gonna see they movement towards you, and you might even hear them from a distance talking to somebody else, maybe on the phone or whatever. You might hear them, so you know where they at, where they finna go with this whole conversation with you, if they speak to you. Sometimes beings on there speak directly to you. They stop somewhere close to you talking to somebody else, but when they speaking, you hearing it. So now you hearing the conversation, and now they trying to tap into you with the conversation. Just like if somebody call you on the phone and it's a whole lot of background play, you gotta pay attention to that. That's an attack as well, because you don't know what's playing in the background. You don't know what they're talking about in the background. And if the being that calls you don't respect you and love you enough to walk off into another room or to silence or wait till they not even around anybody to call you, or don't have no devices on to call you, then we don't know what that is. So you gotta pay attention to that. So you gotta protect yourself at all times, and be aware at all times. And you don't have to be in fear. I'm not here to pump fear, but I'm trying to bring awareness. Just be aware of your surroundings at all times. You gotta protect yourself. You gotta love yourself. And if you don't love you, then the whole shit gonna be crazy anyway. But if you love you, you're gonna see this movement around you. So you gotta love you and pay attention to that. Because it comes from all directions. Like I said, whether it be background play from a being stopping, talking to somebody else, they having a conversation, and now you're aware of them being there, and they having this conversation. You could catch the shit and just walk off. That's the best, just to walk the fuck off, because you ain't trying to hear that type shit. You ain't trying to be programmed with that, because it seems like they try to program you with the type of shit that they speaking about. So just kind of be aware of your surroundings, and examine the beings you're around. And that's about it for real. I think that's the message. But yeah, I didn't make it yesterday, so I haven't eaten anything yet. It's about it's 1 o'clock where I'm at. So we'll see how I go today, and see if I can continue to fast. See how long I go. Yeah, we'll just see. But definitely protect yourself. That's all I wanted to say to you, Royals, Kings, Gods, Titans. Stay aware. Be conscious about your surroundings.